All right, midweek Cowgirls in town. 3 matches for SFA this week. SLU dispatched in 3 sets last night, but a tough club in McNeese makes their way to Nacogdoches, and I'm honored to have Angela McGownd sit down with us and chat tonight. Thanks, Angela.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Sure. Yeah, everybody that reads the blog knows that I'm like a back row fanatic. So anytime any Libero stud comes into the conference, I got to be the first one to get the goods in terms of the interview. And Angela definitely deserves a little bit more light on what she's been able to do at McNeese than what she's been getting. But first, I got to ask you the story of getting from Loveland, Colorado to Baton Rouge. Because, girl, here's what I'm telling you. I've never talked to you before, but 50 miles east of Rocky Mountain National Park is not the same as 50 miles east of Beaumont, okay? So, like, how in the world did we get from Loveland, Colorado to Lake Charles?
Well, basically, the coaches just saw me play in a tournament in Kansas City, actually, and that's kind of where they recruited me. And I just went to visit McNeese right after that, and I honestly fell in love with it right away. So, I don't know. I'm glad I chose it, though. It's a lot different from Loveland, Colorado, but yeah, but it's worth it. I really enjoy school there, so.
My memory is McNeese has pulled some other players from Colorado in times past, too. Did you know any of those, or is it just stumbled upon you at the tournament?
Just stumbled upon me. We also have a freshman from Colorado, too, this year, so.
Okay. You know, last year I watched you play a couple times, saw you when either in matches that I saw on film or when we played you, and you were in more of a DS role last year and sliding over to Libero jersey. What's been the biggest transition for you? What have you had to do differently knowing that this year, you're sort of the anchor of the back row?
Yeah, there's definitely a big difference. I don't know. I think I have more of a leadership role on the team. I know when I was DS last year, looking at my libero, Bridget Justice, she was just like a great mentor to me, and I always looked at her on the court if I needed help or if I needed anything. So I'm kind of trying to be that for our other DSs, just to be kind of a go-to person and have them trust me like I trust them.
You're awesome. You answered 2 questions in one. The next question was going to be what you thought you learned from Bridget last year. Of course, Bridget came in, and your coach had a good reputation with Bridget before Bridget got there, transferring in. But what was it about Bridget that you were able to kind of integrate into your own game?
Just her positivity, and just she was a player where if you were to look at her and kind of you were struggling during games, she would always pick you right back up. She's had a can-do attitude all the time. So I don't know. She gave me confidence out on the court, and I try to embody that in her, I guess.
At what point, spring or early this year, did you sort of know that you were going to be the libero?
I'd say at the end of spring last year, I feel like I took it by the reins, the whole position and everything. I got more comfortable with just the role of being a libero and making big plays. So I think it was the end of spring, which helped me a lot.
Okay, trivia time. Let's see if you know this. If you didn't dig another ball the rest of the year, which God forbid, I mean you will, but if you didn't dig another ball, are you aware that you're already on the top 10 season dig leaders at McNeese?
I did not know that, no.
Did not know that. You have 483 digs, and if you didn't dig another ball, you would rank 6th all-time at McNeese in seasons right now. And we don't measure digs by digs per match. We measure them by set, but you're averaging right at 20 digs a match, and you're on pace for 624 digs, and that would be the second highest tally all-time at McNeese. Thoughts about that kind of numbers?
That's just really exciting. I don't know. I'm really excited about the whole thing. So I just hope I continue to improve and get more touches as the season goes on.
So if you do wind up in the 600s, there's another girl who is the all-time dig leader at McNeese. Do you happen to know who the all-time dig leader is at McNeese?
Ooh, I don't know who that is. One of Coach B's teammates?
This is the phone a friend question. I was talking to Angela before we got on camera about I was going to ask her. The answer is Jessica Strama, in that in anybody who knows anything who's old. Okay, you're not old, so I mean I'm old, so I know this stuff. I watch Strama play. And Strama, actually it was Strama week, I think last week was the anniversary of when Jessica Strama had 62 digs. 62 digs in one match. That's the all-time NCAA D1 record, and she holds the season record at 689 at McNeese. Now, she did not set that record in the year that she got 62 digs. She set that record the year after she got 62 digs. And just for SFA fans to get some perspective on that, with Angela on pace for about 625. 2 years ago, O.J. Olson, who was regarded as one of the better liberos in the Southland, had 664. The SFA record is 853 by Stephanie Figures, and that's fourth highest all time in a D1 season. How about that? I want you to take us through the UCA match, because, see, players can make bloggers and interviewers like me look really stupid. So here I am in a hotel in Corpus Christi getting ready for our match, writing these posts where I just spout off my opinion. And what I write is that UCA probably won't lose another match except to HBU, and then literally 2 hours later you guys go out and bust them. So what do I know? You know, take me through that match. What was it about that match that was so good that got you guys? I mean, people have opened eyes now.
Yeah, I think what really got us was that the Thursday before that match, we lost against Northwestern in 5, and that was a game we all feel like we should have took, and because we were up 2-0 and we should have just finished it. So I think that kind of lit the fire for us, because we ended up losing the first set in UCA, and then right after that, something switched with us, and we just had a lot more confidence, and we kept our composure really well, and we ended up finishing it in the 5th set. And so, I don't know, I'm really proud of all of us. I think we really stepped up and played our roles on the team.
That had to be a big boost coming off of a 5. You know, 5-setters are always emotional no matter whether you win or lose. But coming off of, you played a lot of 5-set matches so far this year, if I read the schedule right. That had to have been sort of a total team boost too, to be able to say, hey, you know, this is a team that to that point I think it only lost 2 matches, and so that's sort of a we can beat anybody, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it gave us a lot of confidence, and just being able to finish in the 5th set is what we really needed. So I'm really proud of us. We did well.
By the way, all those goofy facts that I gave Angela again about Strama and all her digs and stuff, a lot of that I got out of the McNeese media guide. And I know that people aren't fond of just like, hey, let's go read volleyball media guides. But you need to go look at least the cover of the McNeese media guide, because it's got Jenny D'Alessandro on one side, and it's got Ray Myers on the other side, these 2 6-footers, and then Allison Gimbroni in the middle at 5'5". It's like the most hilarious thing ever. It's like Gimbroni's like, hey, here's my 2 buds, you know, on the side. What's the one thing that you feel like transitioning from DS now to Libero, what's the one thing still, because you're only a sophomore, that's the number one thing you need to improve on going forward?
What I really want to improve on is just like making in-game adjustments. Like our coaches were talking about it, where we need to realize what like a hitter is doing and like how they're kind of killing us at some points of the games. And like if a hitter keeps on hitting me cross, like I need to make that adjustment myself and like realize I need to go more across. So it's just like more of the mental thing of like knowing what to do and making the smart choices in the game.
I saw in your bio that you, at your high school, held records in terms of attacking. Was back row, I mean, you probably, when you attacked, you probably played all the way around, but had you ever specifically played exclusively back row until you got to college?
No, actually, last season I played Libero for like 1 set, and it was like our very first tournament just to kind of see how I would do, I guess, and that was the first time, so yeah.
Well, all right, so to transition, Ashleigh Fitzgerald is with us here tonight too, and this is Fitz's 4th season at the helm at McNeese. Give us one fact about Coach Fitz that, like, you know, give us a little players only here. I mean, she's over our shoulder, but I mean, you know, keep it clean. But like, give us one fact that you think nobody watching this would know about Coach Fitzgerald, but you're going to leak it out right now.
Ooh, She really, really, really loves her dogs. I think that's a really.
I think that came up in an interview before. I think that doesn't count. No, I already knew that. No, I already knew that. Somebody already told me that. We have another fact.
She really doesn't like our music choices. I'd say that's a pretty good one. Yeah, she unplugs our speaker a lot if she doesn't like our music, so we have to change our warm-up music a little bit. But that's probably good.
You mean like the music but pregame or music?
Music, yeah, like our warm-up music, yeah.
Well, that's probably her and like 80% of the volleyball coaches in NCAA D1. Okay, Angela McGownd, she'll be in action tomorrow night against SFA. And Angela, thanks for being willing to sit down, and we'll switch over and talk to Coach Fitz now. Thanks, Angela.
Thanks for having me.
Ashleigh Fitzgerald will slide into the seat now. The first time I talked to Coach Fitzgerald was in your rookie season. I don't know if you remember this or not. It was back in the gym at oh my goodness, we're gonna have to. Hey, you can that's archived on this YouTube channel, so you can go look at that before you read this. Okay, what I want to ask is, you know, you're sitting at 14 wins, okay? And in the 3 previous seasons that you've been at McNeese, you've topped out at 15. So I mean, it looks to me, that like you're going to have your best season of the 4, and I think you'd probably to this point say that it has been your best season. What's been different? I mean, why that much progress? What you're headed towards 18, maybe 20 wins?
Well, I think a lot of things happened to conspire to make last year a challenging year for us. Our big blonde kid, Shanna, who's having such a great season offensively and defensively for us, she was injured. We had a senior, Haley Showers, who was probably the best athlete at McNeese across all sports, and she had a shoulder surgery that didn't take. Our other outside hitter sprained her ankle and missed a third of the conference season. So we were really left with a lot of freshmen playing roles that we kind of just shoved them into. And we didn't have a full grasp of who really belonged where, what kind of system we should be running, or how to make it all work. But it was great because it really made us reflect on what type of kids we had, what type of system would maybe work for us. And I think their maturity and we have a big group of freshmen who are now sophomores. That's helped a lot. Coupled with getting Shan back and then being really healthy, has made this into a nice year. We played a little bit of a softer preseason schedule, which allowed us to get some confidence, but still play a pretty good level of competition. It's just not the same level we've probably played the last two years. So we were able to pull off a winning record in preseason, which was the goal of mine anyways, going into it. And I think it's just kind of snowballing a little bit. And the exciting thing is, we play these teams like we played HBU the first week. We feel really good if we have to see them again later, because when you have a team that's, last couple of matches we played 6 kids who are freshmen or sophomores, and we feel like we can really improve at a high rate over the course of a conference season. So we're excited to just keep it going.
The 2 girls that are setting for you right now are 2 girls that did get in full seasons last year, Jim Brony and Aguilera. But last year it was just 5-1 with Aguilera. Where in that mix did it convince you and your assistants that, hey, running 2 setters is the way to go?
Well, at some point in the spring, we just weren't happy with how things were looking. So we were like, get in there and set. Because while she's really 5'2", we list her at 5'5", but she's really 5'2", but she's got tremendous hands, and she set until 9th grade, I think. So we were like, can you get in there and do it? 'Cause she is a great defender. She's a very strong server. And we wanted to make sure that she was really incorporated in what we were doing. So I put her out there, and then Alex played a fair amount of DS as a freshman too. So now she's a junior and has a lot of skill. And our blocking numbers haven't been great. And we run this offense now where we're running really fast to both antennas, and it's nice to have everybody kind of do the same thing. We're pretty systemized. So now we have 2 right side attackers, 2 siders that go across back, and everybody has a really defined, clear role. So 2 siders was a no-brainer from us, really in January, but we didn't know that Addie would be filling that role probably till April.
And you mentioned Memorial Gym a minute ago. I may never walk in Memorial Gym again. I've been sort of charting the progress of the new place. For those that haven't been to Memorial Gym, it's unassuming. It's like Shelton. You walk up to – I remember the first time I went, it was before you were head coach there, and I was like, this is it? Like, I'm here? And I think people do that to Shelton Gym on the outside too. It's an intimate gym like Shelton Gym is. But let me give you a chance to kind of showcase the new place. Talk about what it's going to be like, what's going to be in it, and this is next year, right?
It's next year. It's supposed to be done in June. It's right next to our football field house. There's going to be a 4,000-seat arena for men's and women's basketball, and then there's a 600-seat arena adjacent to it for our program, and we're really excited. We've got a space where we can put 4 nets up if we want to. Basketball can use it for practice opportunities if we want to, but it'll be C-sided seating, a big curtain down the middle, and we'll have 600. And I think that's a great size for volleyball in Lake Charles, which volleyball is growing there. I think our crowds have been pretty good this year, and we think we can get 600 people there and have a great atmosphere. And we really think we're fixing to have the best volleyball venue in the Southland Conference. State of Louisiana had some budget troubles a few years ago, and this was the only project that made it through as far as new construction. So we're really proud that we have it in Calcasieu Parish and that we have it as part of McNeese. And, we've been able to recruit to it, even though there's just been dirt being moved for, over a year now. But we think it's really helped us land some great kids our 2018 class, and they're excited to be a part of something fresh and something new and something that we think will be the crown jewel of volleyball facilities in the league.
Do you think, we're about halfway through conference slate, do you think that potentially this year the field that will make it of 8 is going to be deeper than what you've seen your first couple of years? Because, I mean, you have the 5 that were picked at the top and that are in the 5 top spots: Sam, us, Corpus, HBU, UCA. But then Northwestern State's played really well. You guys have played really well. That's 7 right there, and that seems like a very dangerous 7. Does it seem like it's going to be deeper?
I think it is going to be deeper. I think matchups will play a big role. Whoever that 8th seed is might be pretty good. You just don't know. There's so much season left to go, and some teams have only played 7. But I think it will be deeper, and I think some of these teams are advantaged to have a lot of seniors playing in big positions. But I think a team like ours can show improvement. And I think our kids know what we're playing for right now. We're playing to improve as much as we can, to really refine our skills and our systems just a little bit, to give ourselves the best opportunity to play. And we also feel like we have a real advantage because we run a high ball in the middle, which is something not a lot of people do. So we kind of get an opportunity to see how people are going to respond to that and play that in regular season. So we think that when we go and we have to, hopefully play 3 matches in a row to pull it off, that we'll be kind of tipped off for how people are going to play against us.
I want to end by asking you about some specific players. You mentioned Shanna Spree. Her name's been in the leaders in the Southland for the majority of the season, hitting for a very high percentage. She's somebody that I definitely went back, okay, I remember the name, but let me look it up. And then I caught the red shirt. Are you surprised by what she's doing, or is this something that you kind of knew before she got hurt that she was capable of doing?
Well, we knew before she got hurt in April of her freshman spring that she was pretty capable. That spring we played her left, right, and middle. She seemed to just be really flourishing in the middle, which was strange because she was a 6'3" kid who was a really good ball control player and defender. She was a 6 rotation passer in club. And she could hit off 1 foot really well. She could hit every single ball in the middle. So she developed this arm over the course of her freshman year. And she's an interesting person. You probably will talk to her about it at some point. She has a metabolic problem called Graves' disease. And so she's overcome so much being sick and being hurt. And, we really limit her practice reps right now. So it's not like she has the same opportunity time-wise to improve as everybody else. So it's interesting, and it poses a real challenge to her and to us as a staff. It's like, how can we get her prepped but also keep her feeling really good? But Shan's one of those kids that came out of the womb as like a 25-year-old grown-up. So she's very honest. She knows her body. She knows her limitations, but she also knows what she's capable of. So she's a fun kid to coach. I'm not surprised at all. And I think, as she feels better about her leg, and as she feels better about being a person with Graves' disease and her health, which she always is feeling a little better with, she's open about it, so I don't think I'm telling any secrets. But I think the sky's the limit for her. I tried to pump her up this summer. I was like, Shan, you can be the player of the year in this league as a 3 rotation player. She leads us in serve or in aces. She leads us in kills. She leads us in blocks. So there's nothing she can't do. And she's a really neat kid and a great player to coach.
And last, one of the surges here at SFA this year has been the play on the outside of Haley Coleman and Corinne Evans, and I've been studying all of the pin attackers, and I noticed with Keegan Nelms and Caitlin Elliott, year 2, that combined with Spree to be your top 3 scorers, that Nelms in particular has been much more efficient this year. I mean, up around 200 if I've got the numbers straight. They're both sophomores, so you've got them for the rest of this year and 2 more. What describe them? I mean, what's their similarities? What's their differences? How would you describe if they're similar attackers or different attackers?
They're two different, and they're funny because their personalities are so different too. But I think they really get along. Kate is really an in-system attacker, and she showed glimpses of that last year. Where if we can receive at a high level and get it to her real fast, she is darn near automatic. And she's improved tremendously as a blocker. And Kate's a kid that's easy to coach because you can really ride her hard and she'll get better. She doesn't take anything personally. She's an extremely coachable person. Keegan played a lot of right side for us last year because we thought that was our best opportunity to win, was to have her as a 6 rotation right side person. And this year we've moved her back to the left, so it was her natural position from high school and club. And she's really flourishing, and she has really bought into attacking with tempo, I mean, well, sometimes balls go out there fast. You know, we always think that Kate's a fast person. I've seen balls go out there pretty much shot, and Keegs goes 1-2 and rips it real hard. So she has really improved her range as an attacker, her speed as an attacker, and I think what I'm most happy with right now is her ability to hit out a system. You know, we've challenged her to hit that ball harder because she is naturally such a gifted, crafty person and shot maker and tip artist. It's just hard for those balls to actually get you points when you're playing the top half of the league. So, you know, especially when you look at your outsides and Sam Houston's outsides and HBU's outsides. And Tippett, we just played Tippett. Good gosh, she hits the bejesus out of the ball. So, you know, we're challenging Keeks to be that kind of person who can bail us out in some situations. And she's hitting that ball harder every day. She's taking prettier approaches every day. So it's exciting to see her really flourish now that she's moved back out to the left. And you know, we pass with two people, so half the time she's back there passing, and she's passing great. Her all-around game is just really developing, and she's another kid. I mean, I think she can write her own book, you know, from here on out for the next 2.5 years. So we love Keeks.
Well, only a few seniors on this squad, so a lot of these Cowgirls will be back next year. They'll be in action tomorrow night, 6:30 here in Shelton Gym. Coach Fitzgerald, always a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you very much.